Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Derby. It is weigh-in day for Under the Lights. Now, this is exactly the sort of show where new stars can emerge in British boxing. The main event is an absolute cracker. The British and Commonwealth welterweight titles will be on the line as the Worcester Warrior, Owen Cooper, takes on the man they call the Moldovan Monster, Constantin Ursu. So much to look forward to. They're going to weigh in, they're going to face off, they're going to look at each other for the final time. And now you're about to look at the lovely Ruth Raper, who joins me. How are you, Ruth?
I'm happy to be here, as always.
So good to be here. A bit of a buzz in the environment here. Yep. It's good to see. What a main event we've got.
It is a fantastic main event. And I'll tell you what, this is one of those shows where you really need to keep your eye on it, because if you want to find out who that next star is, who that next wave of talent, this is where you should be looking.
Yeah, I think it's so appropriately called Under the Lights, by the way. We're going to find out who can actually shine brightest under those lights. Constantin Ursu has built up a bit of a reputation as like a silent assassin in the welterweight division. We're going to find out a lot about him tomorrow.
This is a real test for him, and you know what, like you said, we are hearing a lot of whispers about this guy, but we're going to find out how legit he really is, because Owen Cooper is the man to test him. He's been at that high level, he's been in deep waters, and we've seen what he can do. So this is going to be a real test for both fighters.
Yeah, Owen Cooper, it feels like he came into kind of public consciousness with that fight of the year contender against Echo Esserman. Like, it didn't go his way that night, but we learnt so much about him. He had Esserman over, it just didn't go his way at the end.
I'll tell you what, there's a handful of fights that I go back onto YouTube and watch, and that is one of them. It is incredible. The way that he handled himself, he was incredibly composed, he was calm, he pulled that shot out of nowhere, he got up off a canvas, but like you said, ultimately he didn't go his way. I think that was a lot of it down to experience.
Yeah.
Echo is obviously very experienced, but he's ready to go again, and I think he can be successful again.
With Constantin Ursu, though, this is the step up. The best win on his resume so far has been Ethan James. Owen Cooper had already beaten Ethan James, but that's what kind of stands out. But I guess Constantin Ursu beat Ethan James better than Owen Cooper did, right?
He did, but unfortunately with boxing it's not an exact science. So we can't say, right, because he stopped him but he went the full distance, this is how it's going to go. It doesn't go like that. I think this one is really, really hard to pick. They've both got very different styles. Ursu is fluid and long and relaxed. Cooper is compact. He moves his head as he pushes forward. So we're in for a cracker here, we really are.
The two came face to face yesterday, by the way, for the very, very first time. And there is a meanness about Constantin Ursu. Have you been around him yet at all? I've seen him. I shook his hand. Like, there's something a bit scary about him.
He's a serious man. He's here to fight. He doesn't care too much for doing too much talking outside the ring. But when he gets in there, you can see he's serious, and he's going in there to make a statement.
The British welterweight title, by the way, on the line. Constantin Ursu is already the Commonwealth champion, so that is on the line as well. And I was doing a bit of research, Ruth. Now, we've got 5 UK male world champions, 5 in the UK right now. 4 of them have been British champions at some point in their career. It's an important belt. It's a rite to passage, isn't it?
It's legacy, and you know what? A lot of people talk about that British belt almost as if a trinket. You couldn't get farther from the truth. The British title is a legitimate title, and if you get your hands on that, there's absolutely no reason why you can't go onto European, why you can't go onto the world stage. Getting your hands on that belt means so much.
Yeah, and sometimes you can end up in with world level fighters there. You can end up with world level fights at British title level. It's a real great grounding. I was speaking to so many guys who have been British champion. I spoke to Nathan Heaney. He talked about how prepared he was by just fighting Denzel Bentley. Denzel Bentley's about to fight for a world title. It's a belt that really means something.
It is, so they're going to be dying to get their hands on this belt. Like you said, the Commonwealth title's also up for grabs. Ursu's got that. It's a big one. There's a lot on the line for both of these men, because the winner, you've got that British title, you've got that Commonwealth title, and you can go on to bigger and better things. And like you said, people are going to be looking at whoever wins that British title, and they're going to say, maybe he can go on to European, maybe he can go on to Worlds. But whoever loses, they're back down that slippery ladder.
Well, we did a little digital face-off with Owen Cooper and Constantin Ursu. A few words exchanged. Have a look at this.
I don't know too much. I just see his fight with Congo. Last fight, I think. Yeah, I think last fight. Yes. He's a basic fighter. Nothing do too much. Strong hands. Little speed. So nothing excellent. It's just good boxer, nothing special.
Nothing special, Owen?
Yes, You know, that's what a lot of people say, but I think they tend to find out on the night. I think I'm a bit more than you know, just a basic fighter, and I believe I am. But look, entitled to his opinion, and you know, if he believes that, then so be it.
I love that. I love the way Constantin Ursu just called Owen Cooper a basic fighter. He really means it. That's the main event. There's so much more to look forward to, by the way. There is a Fail twin in action. Not this Fail twin. Carl, great to see you. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Dev, how are you?
Very, very good. It's a big night for Big Ben Fail, your brother, your twin. Are you going to be feeling every shot? Are you going to be throwing every shot with him? How are you feeling?
Look, I get more nervous when my brother fights than when I fight. So for me, it's a lot of emotions, but I'm also very confident. I've seen the work he's put in, I've seen how hard he's trained, and he's ready. He's more than ready, to be honest.
I just wanted to ask you, obviously you've been in the gym with your brother. What can we expect to see from him on fight night?
I think you're going to see a very explosive, strong Ben Fail, a very sharp Ben Fail. We know what Mason brings, we know what he can do. Look, I believe Ben's the best super welterweight in the division. It's just about him going out there and proving it. But like I said, Mason's a tough test, but I think you're going to see the best Ben Fail that we've seen so far.
You just said something there, Carl. You said that Ben Fail is the best super welterweight in the division. You are also a super welterweight in the division. Did you just concede that your brother is better than you, Carl Fail?
Deb, listen, if you ask me, I'm going to say Ben, and you go and ask Ben, and he's going to say me. So listen, I think he's the best, he thinks I'm the best. So look, hopefully one day we'll have all the belts, and yeah, the Fail twins will take over.
I love that. It's pretty deep with you guys as well. I've heard Ben say that the only person in the world that he wants to do better than him is you, and I'm sure for you it's vice versa as well. How nervous are you about this though? Because this is a step up. He's kind of had it all his own way so far against the opponents he's been in with. But this guy that he's fighting, Mason Cartwright, he's serious.
Yeah, well, these are the fights we wanted, Dev. We've been speaking to you for quite a long time now. You know us. Me and my brother won't turn down a fight as long as it makes sense, as long as it's the right fight at the right time. There's not a fight we'd turn down, and when this got put forward to us, we like the fight. Ben likes the fight. It's a good fight. It's a good fight to show what we can do. Mason's been at British level, so he's had that step up. It's about Ben going out there and showing that he's above this level and he's ready to push on for the British title, for the bigger titles, and that's what I think we're going to see tomorrow night.
I've got a bit of a rambling question here. You two speak so beautifully about each other. Do you spar?
No.
You don't spar?
So I think the last time we sparred, I think we was 14 years old. We were sparring and Ben landed a good shot on me and he just dropped his hands and walked away. And I was all confused. And then it got to the point where when you're sparring, you want to land the shots, you want to do a bit of damage. We weren't enjoying it. It wasn't a nice feeling for him to land a shot on me, for me to land a shot at him. So we made that decision at young that we weren't going to spar no more. We weren't going to hit each other. And yeah, it's deep between me and Ben. We're very close. We live together. We share the same room. When we do everything together, there's probably not a time where we're apart. So for like you said, Dev, I want the only person in the world to do better than me is him, and he'll say the same.
What's going to happen now? Because it feels like you two are both due a bit of a breakout, and it feels like maybe 2026 is going to be the year. You had a great win last year against Amir Abubaker. I guess we need to see you both kick on this year. Are you feeling like this is your year?
Well, that's it, mate. When I had that win last year, I was really excited, really ready to push on. The opportunity never come towards the end of the back end of last year, but we've been promised 2026. We're going to get the opportunities. We're going to get the shots. So now it's down to us. Now it's down to us. We have to go out there, and the same as Ben tomorrow. It's all we can get the opportunities. Now it's down to us to do our job, and then, like I said, 2026, more titles, more belts, bigger opportunities, bigger shows. The Fail twins are taking over.
Listen, I can't wait to see it. Now it's time for Thomas Triber to actually take over. Let's head over to RMC and let's get this weigh-in underway.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official weigh-in for Under the Lights, a great night of championship boxing to be held tomorrow from Valiant Live in Derby, England. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry, along with their great sponsors. Riyadh Season, 32 Red, Unibet, Global Next Trade, and That Prize Guy. A big thanks to those great sponsors. Well, a few reminders, ladies and gentlemen. Tickets are available and can be purchased via ticketmaster.co.uk. And you can also watch it live, worldwide, exclusively on DAZN. Let's now get the weigh-in process started. Our first two fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round super lightweight contest. We will first welcome, coming to us from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. He brings a professional record consisting of 17 wins, 16 defeats, 4 draws, 5 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Benito Canelito Garcia.
Well, Benito Garcia gets things underway at the weigh-in. He'll be taking on Lasher Guri tomorrow evening.
142.4 for Benito Canelito Garcia. And now to the scale from Rustavi in the country of Georgia. He was a 2024 Olympic bronze medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 2 wins. 1 of his 2 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Lasher Guri.
Well, Lasher Guri, one of 2 Olympic bronze medalists in action tomorrow evening. Of course, Charlie Sr. will also be under the lights.
142.10 for the undefeated Lasher Guri.
And one of 4 Olympians as well in action.
You know what that means? There's going to be some talent on the show. You don't get to the Olympics easy.
I shared a taxi actually with Lasher Guri and his team coming over. They're very confident about the future. It's managed by Aegis Klimas as well. Big talent. Last in action on the Usyk Dubois undercard at Wembley Stadium.
Once again, these 2 competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round super lightweight contest.
It was a big stoppage win for him at Wembley Stadium. That was the last time we saw him. So fantastic start to his career for the Georgian Olympian.
Our next 2 fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. Let's first welcome from Manchester, England, a veteran of 25 professional bouts. Here is Dan the Monk Booth.
Here comes Mr. Booth onto the scales. We're going to get a good look at him tomorrow before he steps in that ring.
155.7 for Dan the Monk Booth. Now we welcome to the scale from Fold House, Scotland, a stellar amateur, now undefeated as a professional with 2 wins. 1 of his 2 wins comes by way of knockout. Here is Reese Lynch.
This is the man seen by many as the future of Scottish boxing. Of course, Commonwealth Games gold medalist Reese Lynch.
146.7 for the undefeated Reese Lynch.
Well, it's interesting, Ruth. He is a super lightweight. He's a Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He's a southpaw. He's rangy. It kind of sounds a bit like Josh Taylor, right?
It does. There's a lot of similarities, and we're going to see what this man is all about tomorrow night. He's going to be looking to put on a statement, and if I know anything about this guy, he's going to be looking to get that stoppage.
Well, he got the stoppage in his debut. It was a fantastic start to his career up in Glasgow on the Taylor Esselman undercard. And you can see he's going to be tall and rangy at this weight. Super talented. Bright future ahead. So much coming through in Scotland, by the way, of course, with Nathaniel Collins as well.
It's an exciting time to be a Scottish boxing fan, that's for sure.
Once again, these 2 competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round welterweight contest. I want some Gucci to your mama house just to leave it there. Ooh, Our next two fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round middleweight contest. Let's first welcome a native of Cameroon, now making his home in Sheffield, England. He was a 2012 Olympian, now a veteran of 87 professional bouts. Let's welcome Serge Ambo.
4 Olympians on this show. This is one of them, Serge Ambomo, from back in 2012.
I mean, what a career that is. 87 fights.
158.10 for Serge Ambomo.
Yeah, 87 fights as an amateur. No, sorry, as a pro. And then an Olympian as an amateur.
From Essex, England. As an amateur, he became a 4-time national champion, and now as a professional, undefeated with 5 victories. Here is Joe Cooper.
Now, Joe Cooper has been highlighted by Frank Warren as very much one of the future. He's been sponsoring him for a long time.
163.5 for the undefeated Joe Cooper.
Trains in Champs Camp with Joe Gallagher, surrounded by fantastic fighters, and it's all gone so well so far for Joe Cooper.
It has, and it's going to need to keep going well if he's going to get past this very experienced man he's got in front of him.
Well, Serge Ambomo, when he turns up and he fancies it, he can have a real good go. I remember seeing George Davey was unbeaten at the time, going into a fight with Serge Ambomo. That fight ended in a draw because Serge Ambomo turned up and he thought, yeah, tonight's going to be my night.
That's what a good journeyman can do. Ultimately, their job is to test these prospects and put them under pressure.
Yeah, I think he'll be putting young Joe Cooper under pressure tomorrow evening. You can see the kind of height difference there as well. There's something about Joe Cooper, though. There's a bit of noise about him on the amateur scene. A super talent coming through.
Once again, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round middleweight contest. Our next two fighters competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round super lightweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale a native of Durban, South Africa, now fighting out of Newport, Wales. He has 18 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome Garth Baby Pitbull Noot.
Here we go. Now, Garth's come with a bit of a team with him today. I think he's feeling pretty confident.
I like the nickname, by the way, Baby Pitbull.
Yeah, I've not heard that one before.
143.2 for Garth Baby Pitbull Noot. Now we welcome to the scale from Burton, Latimer, Kettering, England, a stellar amateur, becoming a 5-time national champion, and now tomorrow, making his highly anticipated professional boxing debut. Introducing Ellis, the Problem Panter.
Well, there is a new problem in the welterweight division. Ellis Panter making his professional debut, and I've heard plenty of good things, Ruth.
That's it. On the amateur scene, he really did make a bit of a splash. 5 national titles. You don't do that unless you've got a bit of something about you. We're about to see if you can do the same in the pros.
143.9 for Ellis, the Problem Panter.
He's done plenty of sparring with Dalton Smith, of course, now world champion. He's been in sparring Stephen Cairns, who's in a fantastic fight coming up on our Dublin show, St Patrick's Day weekend, where Stephen Cairns takes on Arnie Dawson. So plenty of good rounds in there for the Kettering welterweight. I'm excited to see how this all plays out, this career.
I love seeing these fighters when they first turn over, because for me it's a bit fascinating. Does a great amateur automatically make a great pro? No. But more than likely, they're going to give us something interesting to watch.
I'll tell you what, though, the baby pitbull is up for it. Gardner there is clenching his fist. I don't know if you can quite see it in shot, but there is a bit of fist clenching going on.
I told you, he's serious. He's brought a whole big team with him. You don't often get that from the away corner, but he's here to do business.
We're going to find out a lot about Ellis Panter.
Once again, these two competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round super lightweight contest.
There is a handshake at the end there. The fists became unclenched and they go their separate ways. The pro debut coming up of Ellis Panter tomorrow evening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the big boys of boxing will be in action tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round heavyweight contest. Let's first welcome to the scale from Battersea, London, England. He has a professional record consisting of 3 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, 1 of those 3 wins comes by way of knockout. Here is Ben the Butcher Vickers.
Fight 7 for the man known as the Butcher, and the man who is more than capable of pulling off an upset.
244.7 for Ben the Butcher Vickers. Now we welcome to the scale from Leamington Spa, England. Undefeated with 3 wins. 1 of his 3 wins comes by way of knockout. Here is Lewis Williams.
Fight number 4 for the Commonwealth Games gold medalist Lewis Williams.
229.2 for the undefeated heavyweight Lewis Williams.
I just like it when Thomas Treiber gets the chance to say the big boys of boxing. He loves it, Thomas Treiber.
He does, and ultimately you are watching the home of the heavyweight, so it's only right we stuck a heavyweight fight in there.
Absolutely right. Ben Vickers, by the way, he was in action last month, took on Derek Ozabolador on his professional debut and beat him. It was a bit of an upset because that was a backed fighter. But Ben Vickers turned up, the Butcher, and he fancied it. Let's see if he fancies it against Lewis Williams tomorrow night. Fascinating fight. Lewis Williams kind of working his way, smaller kind of heavyweight at 229 in this kind of era. It's a stern face-off.
It is, and heavyweight fights are always interesting because, you know what they say, anything can happen. So who knows with this one? Like you said, the Butcher has come to work.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the big boys of boxing in action tomorrow. 6-round schedule in the heavyweight division. Our next 2 fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 8-round flyweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. His professional record, 21 wins, 14 defeats, 4 draws, 8 of those 21 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Jemsi Kibazange.
Nearly 40 professional fights under this man's belt. He knows his way around the ring. So let's see what he can do tomorrow.
112.14 for Jemsi Kibazange. Now we welcome to the scale from Sittingbourne, Kent, England. His professional record, 12 wins, just 1 defeat, 3 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Tony Lightning Curtis Jr.
Fight number 14 for Tony Curtis Jr., who's boxed all over the world.
114.4 for Tony Lightning Curtis Jr.
He's boxed all over the world. He's Dubai, Mexico, Thailand, Bournemouth, but he's never boxed in Derby, Ruth.
He's never, and I tell you what, at this stage in your career, every fight is a big test.
Quite quite the story. Turned pro at 16 years old. There's not many British boxers who have had that many fights at his age. 19 years old, trained by Roy Jones Jr.
And not everyone is catching the eye of Roy Jones Jr.
No, absolutely not. He's had a couple of really interesting run-outs last time. We saw him flip over the top rope, backflip off the top rope in the corner as well. He's got a bit of character, he's got a bit of charisma, Tony Curtis.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's 8 rounds scheduled tomorrow in the flyweight division.
They call Tony Curtis Jr. Lightning. Let's see if Lightning can strike in Derby tomorrow evening.
Our next 2 fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 10-round contest, and it is a eliminator for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight Championship. First to the scale with a record of 18 wins, 5 defeats, 7 of his 18 wins come by way of knockout. From Bessick, England, here is Sugar Cane Gardner.
Here we go, Kane Gardner about to step on those scales. He's given us some good fights in the past, really, really good fights. He always causes everyone a bit of trouble. And he comes in serious. He's not here to kind of just be the away fighter. He's come in to upset everyone.
Well, there is a fascinating win on his record against Conor Walker, who of course is in a tremendous run of form right now. Kane Gardner will be very much coming to fight against Luke McCormack. Completely dwarfs Luke McCormack on pro experience tomorrow.
139.9 for Sugar Cane Gardner. Now we welcome to the scale from Washington, Northeast England, a 2020 Olympian, now undefeated as a professional. 4 wins. 3 of those 4 wins come by way of knockout. Here is Luke McCormack.
Big moment in the career of Luke McCormack. This is the step up. Let's see if he's made the 140 limit.
139.9 for the undefeated former Olympian, Luke McCormack.
I think, Ruth, we might have a little contender here for fight of the night. I think it's a big moment in the career of Luke McCormack to jump up in levels against Kane Gardner in just his 5th fight.
It is a jump up in levels from what we've seen so far, but Luke McCormack was one of the most hotly anticipated amateurs to turn over from the 2020 Olympics. So there's a lot of pressure on his back, really.
2020 Olympian, of course, Luke McCormack. This is really the chance for him to press fast forward on his career. Couple of words exchanged there as well between the two.
140 amateur fights, European silver medalist, and in the Olympics he only lost to Andy Cruz, and we know what that guy's gone on to achieve.
He's hyper-aggressive, he likes a knockout. If he can stop Kane Gardner tomorrow night, he will be the first man to ever do so. Kane Gardner, not so long ago, took Pierce Big Bang O'Leary the distance as well. Brilliant fight in the super lightweight division.
It's 10 rounds scheduled tomorrow, and this eliminator for the Commonwealth Super Lightweight Championship. Our next 2 fighters to the scale competing tomorrow in a scheduled 6-round super featherweight contest. First to the scale, coming to us from Madrid, Spain. He brings a record of 2 wins, 2 defeats, and 1 draw. Here is Jesus Carrasco.
Here we go, Jesus is about to step on those scales. Let's see if he makes that weight.
$129.12 for Jesus Carrasco. Now we welcome to the scale from Bradford, England, a 2024 Olympic bronze medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 3 wins, 1 win by knockout. Here is Charlie Senior.
Charlie Senior, one of 2 Olympic bronze medalists in action tomorrow night on this Under the Lights show.
29.12 for the undefeated former Olympian Charlie Senior.
Trained, of course, by Al Smith. Eddie Lamb says he's been getting a lot of sparring in with Sam Notes, and really he's sparring in the fire there, so it makes the fights much easier.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Charlie Senior. He's really highly touted, apparently got lots and lots of talent, and having that Olympic pedigree is going to take you a long way.
Of course, Olympic bronze medalist for Australia. He's left all his family in Australia. He's put himself in an uncomfortable position, come over here to the UK to train in Bromley. He's got family in Bradford, but this is a big step. Says he likes to make himself feel uncomfortable, as that's where he thrives.
We're going to see.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's 6 rounds scheduled tomorrow in the super featherweight division.
We're going to see if his opponent can make him feel uncomfortable tomorrow night.
That will certainly be the test. Charlie Senior's got all the skills in the world. Likes to box, likes to move. Let's see him tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, our chief support tomorrow, scheduled 10 rounds, and it will be for the vacant Commonwealth International Super Welterweight Championship. Let's first welcome to the scale from Ellesmere Port, England. His professional record consists of 23 wins, 4 defeats, 1 draw. 9 of those 23 wins come by way of knockout. He is a former 2-time British title challenger, Mason "Nutty" Cartwright.
Well, Mason Cartwright feels like he's due some good luck in this sport. If it goes his way tomorrow, it'll be a huge win.
53.8 for Mason "Nutty" Cartwright. Now to the scale from Northampton, England, a stellar amateur, now undefeated as a professional with 10 wins. 5 of those 10 wins come by way of knockout. Here is one half of the Fail twins, Big Ben Fail.
Well, Big Ben Fail has a big moment tomorrow evening.
153.12 for Big Ben Fail.
One half of the Fighting Fail twins, and breakout fight for him, really a huge step up in levels.
It is, like his brother said, it's a step up. Mason has got more experience, but listen, if he wants to get to the next level, people like Cartwright, that's exactly who he needs to get past.
Yeah, Cartwright, former 2-time British title challenger, and he just misses out, just doesn't go his way at the final bell.
He has a loss to Troy Williamson back in 2022, also to Samuel Antwi. He's very gritty, very tough, and always comes to fight.
Tell you what though, these Fail twins, they mean it. They're made of stern stuff. Ben Fail towers over Mason Cartwright there. Southpaw is going to make it difficult for Mason Cartwright. Cartwright says he actually prefers fighting southpaws.
I did hear that. The Fail twins are now both training out at that Peacock Gym, the famous Peacock Gym.
This, our chief support tomorrow, 10 round schedule for the vacant Commonwealth International Super Welterweight Championship.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic to see the way that Ben Fail has come back. Got injured on his debut. He actually got told that he'll never box again by 2 doctors. Went to a third doctor. Third doctor said, we can fix that. And here he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Under the Lights main event tomorrow, live worldwide, exclusively on DAZN. Scheduled 12 rounds. It will be for the vacant British and Commonwealth Welterweight Championships. We will first welcome to the scale a native of Moldova, now fighting out of Plymouth, England, undefeated. 14 wins. 6 of his 14 wins come by way of knockout. He is the current WBO European champion, and tomorrow, the reigning and defending Commonwealth welterweight champion, Constantin, the Moldovan monster, Ursu.
Well, Constantin Ursu has jumped on those scales before Tribe could finish.
146.4 for the defending champion, Constantin, the Moldovan monster, Ursu.
Ursu makes weight.
Now we welcome to the scale the challenger from Worcester, England. His professional record, 11 wins, just 1 defeat. 4 of those 11 wins come by way of knockout. He is a former English and WBO European welterweight champion. Here is Owen, the Worcester Warrior, Cooper.
Here we go. You can hear that crowd here ready to see Cooper's weigh in. They're all excited for tomorrow.
146 for the challenger, Owen, the Worcester Warrior, Cooper.
Okay, we have a fight. Owen Cooper and Constantin Ursu have both made weight. The coveted Lord Lonsdale belt, British title on the line. And, of course, Constantin Ursu's Commonwealth title. It's high stakes. Ursu, they call him the Moldovan monster. Owen Cooper, the Worcester Warrior, of course.
Of course, Cooper is coming off of that phenomenal win, that standout win against Chris Congo, who I think a lot of people really weren't giving him much of a chance in that fight. But he's here and he's ready to show everyone where he belongs.
He's not yet ready for the face-off, though, just getting those trainers on. Every inch counts. And I'll tell you what, he'll need every inch against Constantin Ursu here, who I expect to tower over him. I saw them face off for the first time yesterday, both wearing all their gear, and there is a height difference. Owen Cooper said to me, yeah, well, they're all big and strong, aren't they? Well, this is it, the main event tomorrow evening live on DAZN. Owen Cooper, the Worcester Warrior, staring up at the Moldovan monster, Constantin Ursu. Ursu has stopped 5 of his last 7. He is a monster because he carries power, and also probably because of the way he's looking at Owen Cooper there, Ruth.
That's it, these two men are serious. They both know how much is on the line. That British title. There's not many more better belts in the world than that title. I'll tell you, they're going to want to get their hands on it. Whoever wins here, they're taking that step forward. Whoever loses, like I said, it is a slippery slope backwards.
Well, this is going to be one of those where someone's going to have to tell them to look away, because actually Constantin Ursu is kind of doubling down on this face-off here.
Is our main event tomorrow, live worldwide on DAZN, brought to you by Greg Warren for Queensberry. It's 12 rounds scheduled for the vacant British and Commonwealth welterweight championship.
And there is a handshake at the end there. I always wonder where they do the, you know, where the elbows go out and they start tensing and one moves the other out of the way. I always find that quite amusing, Ruth, where they're like that and then one goes in front of the other one as well. But handshake at the end, for me, there's a meanness to Constantin Ursu.
There definitely is, but there's respect there. You have to respect Owen Cooper. He's been there at the highest levels, or the higher levels between the two, should I say. That fight with Echo Esserman, even though he lost, even though he got stopped, you've got to sit there, watch it and say, first of all, that guy's got guts. And second of all, he can hang at that top level. He can make it competitive. And he was quite inexperienced at that point. So Ursu's going to be sitting back and thinking, listen, I've got to respect this guy. And I think what we're going to see is the best version of both men on the night.
I think so as well. Let's speak to Johnny Clark. Great to see you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Finally here.
Yeah, and it feels like finally here for Constantin Ursu, right? You've been part of this journey. You've been building him up, investing, telling the world that he's the best in the world. Yeah. Time to show up.
It is, and everything leads to this, you know. It's been a lot of hard work, but before I come about, that feeling he had when he got on the plane to go to England, you know, there must have been an awkward feeling like, what's going to come of it? And this is it. He's finally here, and I think he's going to show all the hard work that he's put in on Saturday night.
Why do they call him the Moldovan monster, Johnny?
It was me with my big Essex mouth. To be honest with you, he's just a monster. What you see, how he makes weight, how he spars, how he fights, and it's only been on my small shows, but my shows are on DAZN, so people have seen me, and we've been the filler, and I want to be the feeding channel for the big shows, and today's going to prove, or tomorrow's going to prove that my big mouth was right.
Johnny, I've got to ask you, you know Ursu possibly better than anyone.
Yeah.
He's kind of a bit of an unknown entity in terms of it's a big step up here for him.
Yeah.
But what can we expect to see from him tomorrow night?
Going to be honest, Joe, it's a big step up for Cooper. So everyone's saying it's a step up for Ursu, but it's not. And the only way we're going to see is tomorrow. No, even today we walked in and people said, be careful, be prepared. And I'm like, no, go and tell that to him. And that's our attitude. It's his biggest fight, not Ursu's.
We had them on that face-off that I tried to stir it up between them. I'll tell you what, though, Constantin says a few things, including that he's just been bashing people up in sparring, and it's not him that calls himself the Moldovan monster, it's everyone else, it's everyone who's been watching him, including yourself. What can you tell us about these sparring stories? What's been going on in there?
They go on behind closed doors, obviously, but it's been devastating. Yeah. And like I said, if everything we have seen up to now pays off, it's going to be a very good show.
In terms of Owen Cooper as well, though, his kind of, I guess his push, his reason why he believes he's going to win, the experience. He's been in there with Echo Wesley.
And lost.
He emerged with a lot of credit from that fight because of the way he performed.
I don't want to be rude, but he was a good loser. And he's going to be the same tomorrow night.
Ooh, I like it when Johnny's talking smack.
That's it. I'm on it. Call me Sam Jones.
I just wanted to ask you something, man. As a promoter, as a boxing man, what is it going to mean to you to see your man possibly walk away with that British title, one of the best titles there is?
I think it opens a lot of doors for me. I think people will take my eye for boxing a bit more seriously. And like I said, I want to be the feeder club for the bigger promoters. And if you come through top tier on DAZN and you end up on the Queensberry or another show on DAZN, I think that opens so many doors for the rest of my management team.
Johnny, you're doing brilliantly so far.
Oh, thank you very much.
Best of luck to you, my friend. I'm actually going to say a line I probably never thought I'd say in my life. Yeah. Johnny, we're going to lose you. We're going to swap you out for Roy Jones Jr. So if you wouldn't mind just swapping mics.
Have you actually?
Oh, I love that. Apparently, Roy, he's got you tattooed on his arm.
Nice.
Crazy.
I love it.
What a lovely moment. Roy, great to see you, sir.
Always good to see you, brother.
Always great to be in your company. Roy, I mean, we've seen you all over now. We've seen you in Bournemouth. We've seen you popping up in Derby. How is Derby treating you?
Derby's been pretty good. I like Derby. I like so far everywhere I go over here, I love it because boxing fans are everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's heaven for me.
It is heaven. It is heaven here, Ruth.
It is. You're walking around and everyone's got tattoos of you on their arm.
Exactly. I mean, how much better than that can you get?
Tony Curtis Jr. I know you see him as a son, really. Yep. He's almost part of your family now as well. And he's slowly making his way up. How are you finding him going into this fight?
Finding really very good. Looking for a few added things this time. Want to see him do a little bit more countering because I got to teach him, and I've been working on trying to teach him how to make guys reach, and then he can teach. You know, and that's part of professional boxing. You got to make them reach so you can teach, especially when you're longer than you are. This guy's a little bit shorter than him, so it's great for him to make him reach, then teach. You understand me? So that's what the motto is going into this one. Make him reach, then you teach.
Is he a teachable young man? Are you finding that he's soaking it all in?
Very teachable young man. I just can't wait to get him a little bit more time because I haven't had him like with me as much as I want to have with me. I need to put him in my back pocket for a minute. You understand me? So I can make sure on a daily basis we getting it. But we're getting there. You understand me? Just time. So I just opened a new gym in Dallas, Texas. He's going to come out there with me after this fight for a little while. That way I'll be assured to get him everything I need to get him.
Oh, I love that.
I've got to ask you one question. I know you're here to talk about Charlie, but we've got a huge fight coming up. We've got Wardley, Dubois. Tell me how you're feeling about that fight.
Man, listen, Wardley is a guy that never should anybody go against. Dubois definitely has the experience. Dubois probably the better technical guy. But what I tell people is that Wardley is the modern day George Foreman. Don't ever count this guy out. You understand me? If they don't knock him out, which most of them can't see him do, don't count him out because right when you think it's over for him, he comes out of the tombstone. You understand? So whatever you do and whatever I do from now the rest of my career, because I've been watching him for a while because he always comes out of my song.
Yes, he does.
So I love that about Wardley. But, you know, like, sometimes you just think a blue-collar guy, a white-collar guy, he can't come out and beat these guys, can he? And he does it every time. So I ain't never going to doubt him again because I seen what he did his last fight. He proved all the doubters wrong.
Roy, I've got to get you on one more. Another fight that's been announced. You were, of course, the fighter of the 90s. Fighter of the O's was Pacquiao. Fighter of the 10s was Mayweather. they're going to run it back. They're doing it again. What do you think about that?
I mean, for those guys to make the money they're going to make for it probably is good for them. I like it for that purpose, and the fact that, you know, it's like, for me, I'm not excited because I want to see the fight 5 years before it happened. So it happened too late for me the first time. You know, this time definitely too late. But I'm not going to hate on them. If they can make money doing it, more power to them.
I'm pretty sure I saw something recently where you said that you would beat Floyd in an actual fight. Was that right?
Yeah.
You had a bit of beef with him recently.
Yeah, it was a bit of beef, and I'm like this. You want it, come get it. Don't talk to me about it. Come on, let's get it. Don't sit there and talk about how you this, you that, and I can't this, and I can't that. If you don't want to prove that to me. If you want to prove that to me, then you can say that. But if you don't want to prove that to me, then you probably shouldn't say that.
Maybe we see Floyd against Roy at some point. Roy, brilliant to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll grab that from you. Well, Ruth, before we outro, I just want to sort of recap on this. Our main event. I'm buzzing for this. I'm buzzing for that face-off that they just had. Owen Cooper, Constantin Ursu. I like the mean mugging from Constantin. I like that Owen Cooper's just a nice guy and unfazed by all of this. It's a great fight.
It is a great fight. And like I said at the beginning of the show, if you like your headliners, if you like seeing those stars coming out of nowhere, this is a show you should be watching. I'm telling you, whoever wins this fight, we're going to be seeing them again and again and again, because whoever wins this fight is a serious contender.
Did you have to pinch yourself, by the way, just interviewing Roy Jones Jr. there?
I'm not going to lie, when I got up this morning and I decided what t-shirt to wear, because I normally wear a boxing t-shirt, I nearly wore one of his. I wish I did now.
And you've got your tattoo covered up, yeah?
I've got the tattoo covered up.
Ruth, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you. Well, there you have it. Tomorrow night, live on DAZN, Under the Lights, the main event, Owen Cooper, Constantin Ursu, the Worcester Warrior against the Moldovan Monster. And then on the undercard, we've got twins that need wins. Big step up for Luke McCormack. Big step up for Ben Fail. By the way, there's 2 Olympic bronze medalists on this show as well. So much to tune in for. Let's see who can shine brightest under the lights.